Lesson 59, solve systems of linear equations by substitution. So let's look at the steps you use to solve. First, you need to rearrange one of the equations so that it is in the form of y equals mx plus b or x equals my plus b if necessary. So make sure you have one of the variables solved for. Step 2 is substitute the equivalent expression for the variable from the first step into the second equation of the system. The result is an equation with one unknown variable. So your goal is to make sure you only have one variable left in your equation to solve for. So if you're solving for y, or if you get y by itself, this is what y equals. And if that's what y equals, I need to substitute that in the other equation for what y is. Because then I only have one variable, which is the x. Step 3 is solve the resulting equation from the second step for the variable. So you need to find out what does that one variable equal. Once you find out the value of one of the variables, step 4 says substitute that value of the variable from the third step into one of the original equations to find the value of the other unknown. And then 5, write your values of the unknowns as an ordered pair. So let's take a look at an example. This one has been done for you. Our system of equations is right here. We have y equals 2x minus 5 and y equals 5x plus 7. Now we've already practiced graphing them and finding out where do the two lines cross. And where the two lines cross is where it is actually the solution to that system of equations. Today we're just looking at using a different method, substitution. So since both of these are equal to y, I can substitute this part, so 2x minus 5, if that's what y equals, I can substitute that for this y. And that's why in this line I have 2x minus 5 equals 5x plus 7. Because now I only have one variable, and I can solve for that one variable by using all the rules that we went through this year. We need to get all the x's to one side. So here, subtracting 2x on both sides. So I did that. And so now I have a minus 5 equals 5x minus 2x plus 7. I don't want the 7 here. So here they're subtracting 7 on both sides. And you're ending up with negative 12 equals 3x. Divide by 3 on both sides. X equals negative 4. So we found one variable. Now you take this one variable and you plug it into one of these two equations. I did that over here, so I plugged the negative 4 into this first equation of 2x minus 5. I ended up getting an answer of negative 13. So my ordered pair, my answer, if you write it as an ordered pair, it'd be negative 4, negative 13. Otherwise, if you don't, just make sure you put x equals negative 4, y equals negative 13. So let's take a look at our example here. Y equals 2x minus 3 and y equals x plus 2. Since they both equal y, I can substitute 2x minus 3 in for y of the other equation. So I have 2x minus 3 equals x plus 2. Get all my x's to one side, I'm going to subtract an x. That gives me x minus 3 equals 2. I don't want that 3 there, so I'm going to do the opposite. So add 3. X equals 5. And then I'm just going to plug that in to this one. And it doesn't matter which one. I usually choose the one that has the least amount of steps. So if I plug that in, I would have y equals 5 plus 2. Y would have to equal 7. So I can either write my answer this way or put it as 5 comma 7. And that would be my solution. The next one, since they both equal y, I just write each equation equal to each other. So 4x minus 3 equals 3x minus 5. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides to get my x's to one side. I'm also going to add 3 to both sides to get all my non-variables to the other side. So now I have x equaling a negative 2. That's what x equals. I'm going to plug that into this one. Again, it doesn't matter. So y equals 3 times a negative 2 minus 5. Y would equal, this is negative 6 minus 5, it's negative 11. So my ordered pair would be negative 2, negative 11. Next part, this one, you'll have to do some substitution, because here you have 2 variables on the same side. But the second one, we already have the variables solved for. So they're just substituting this negative 2y plus 11. That's what x equals. Plug that into the other one for x. That's what they did here. And then you distribute the 12. And that's how you got negative 24y plus 132 minus 6y. And then you do all the same steps as what you just did before. So you can always refer back to that one for as another example. Let's practice one ourselves. So I have negative 5x plus 7, or plus y equals negative 7, and y equals negative 3x plus 1. This is what y equals, so I'm going to substitute that in for that y in the other equation. So when I rewrite that, I have negative 5x minus 3x plus 1 equals negative 7. Now you might wonder, why did I put a minus sign instead of a plus sign? Well, if I remove this parentheses here, it's plus a negative 3x, which is the same as just subtracting 3x. So combined like terms, I got negative 8x plus 1 equals a negative 7. Subtract 1 on both sides. I have negative 8x equals a negative 8. Divided by negative 8, x would equal positive 1. Now I'm going to stick this positive 1 in this second one. And the reason I'm putting it in the second one is because I need to solve for y, and y is already by itself over here. So when I do that, I have a negative 3 times 1 plus 1. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3 plus 1. Y would equal a negative 2. So I can write my answer as 1 comma negative 2. Next one here, I have x by itself, so I can substitute that in for this x of the other equation, and I have 5 times 3y minus 11 plus 2y equals a negative 4. Again, I just want to verify I only have one variable now, and I do, it's just y. Distribute the 5, so that's 15y. 5 times a negative 11 is minus 55 plus 2y equals negative 4. Combine like terms, so 15y plus 2y is 17y minus 55 equals negative 4. Add 55 to both sides. I have 17y equals 51. You can divide by 17 on both sides. I would get y equals 3. And then I'm going to substitute that one in, and since I have x by itself right here, and I want to find x, I'm going to substitute 3 here. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 11, x equals a negative 2. So my answer as an ordered pair would be negative 2, positive 3. Next part, you may need to rearrange before you do some substitution. So our system of equation here is right here. 2x plus y equals negative 4, and 5x minus 2y equals negative 1. So what I did here in this first one, this top one here, I just solved for y. So I subtracted 2x on both sides. So this is our new equation rearranged. Y equals negative 2x minus 4. Now I have this is what y equals. I can substitute that in for this y. And that's what you see here. And then we do our distribution and solve for a variable like we did before. So So let's take a look at an example ourselves. 4x plus 7y equals 43, and 2x minus 3y equals negative 11. Now you want to put one of them either in y equals mx plus b or x equals my plus b. So I have to choose, and it doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to choose the top one. I'm going to solve for y, so I need to subtract 4x on both sides. So now I have 7y equals negative 4x plus 43, divide by 7. So now I have y equals a negative 4/7 x plus 43 sevenths. Since this is what y equals, I'm going to take that and substitute it in for that y. So now I have 2x minus 3 times negative 4/7 x plus 43 sevenths. And this has to equal a negative 11. So right now I have 2x distributed negative 3. That gives me a positive 12 over 7x. Negative 3 times 43 gives us a negative 129 over 7. And this has to equal a negative 11. Combine like terms. So I have 2x plus 12 sevenths. If I want to keep it as improper fractions, I can rewrite this 2x multiplied by 7 sevenths. This is 14 sevenths x. So 14 plus 12 gives you 26 over 7x. I'm going to add the 129 sevenths to both sides. And this piece right here, I'm going to subtract 77 sevenths. And I just multiplied negative 11 times 7 sevenths. Because now I have 129 minus 77 gives us 52 sevenths. So right now, if I rewrite what I have over here, I have 26 over 7x equaling 52 sevenths. To get x by itself and multiply by the reciprocal, which is 7 over 26. X is now by itself. Multiply this side by 7 over 26. 7's cancel out. 52 divided by 26 is 2. So I can divide by 26. So x is going to equal 2. A lot of work for just one answer here. I'm going to plug that into one of my equations. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use this one right here. So I have 2 times 2 minus 3y equals a negative 11. So 4 minus 3y equals a negative 11. Subtract 4. Got negative 3y equals a negative 15. Divide by negative 3. Y is going to equal a positive 5. So that would be our answer for that one. Look at another one. This one's not as difficult because we have one of the y's here with no coefficients. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. And I have y equals negative 2x minus 6. This is what y equals. I'm going to substitute that in for the other y of the other equation. So now I have 3x plus 2 times negative 2x minus 6 equals negative 10. Distribute the 2. So I have 3x minus 4x minus 12 equals negative 10. So negative x, I'm going to add 12 to both sides, equals positive 2. Divide by negative 1 on both sides. X would equal a negative 2. And then since I need to find my y, I'm going to substitute that in for this x here. So y equals a negative 2 times a negative 2 minus 6 So this was 4 minus 6. Y would equal negative 2. So my ordered pair would be negative 2, negative 2. Next one, rearrange. So I'm just going to rearrange the bottom one. So I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. 4y equals negative 5 minus 3x. Divide by 4. End up with y equaling a negative 5/4 minus 3/4 x. This is what y equals. So I'm going to substitute that in for the other y of the other equation. So now we have 2x minus 3 times a negative 5/4 minus 3/4 x equaling 8. Distribute. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15/4. Negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9/4 x equaling 8. Combine like terms, this 2x is the same as 8/4 x. So 8/4 x plus 9/4 x is 17/4 x. Just remember you need to have common denominators. I'm going to subtract this 15/4 on both sides. And this 8 is really 32/4. Just multiply that by 4/4. So 32 minus 15 is 17/4. Multiply by 4/17 to get x by itself. Do the same thing on the other side. That just equals 1. So x equals 1. And I substitute that in. I'm going to substitute that in for this x right here, since I'm trying to find my y. So now I have y equals negative 5/4 minus 3/4 times 1 is just 3/4, which will give us a negative 8/4, which equals a negative 2. So y would equal negative 2. So my answer is 1, negative 2. And let's look at some application problems. School play charged adults $8, students $5 for tickets. There were 75 people who attended the play. The box office collected $444. How many adults and how many students attended the play? Use the substitution. Let x be adults and y be students. And then you write two equations, one for the number of people and one for the cost of tickets. So I have x adults plus y students equals a total of 75 people. The other one, I have $8 for adult tickets plus $5 for student tickets. I collected $444. Those are my two equations. Let's solve for y up here. So I'm going to subtract x. So y equals 75 minus x. If that's what y equals, substitute that here. So I have 8x plus 5 times 75 minus x equaling 444. I'm just going to distribute the 5. So I have 8x plus 75 times 5 is 375 minus 5x equaling 444. 3x, so I combine my like terms, subtract 375. So 444 minus 375 gives us 69. 3x equals 69, divide by 3 on both sides. X is going to equal 23. So that means 23 adults are going. And I substitute that 23 for here. So 75. So Y equals 75 minus 23 gives us an answer of 52. So how many adults? Adults, we had 23. Students, we had 52. And our last one, the cost of 5 books and 10 pencils is $36. The cost of 2 books and 40 pencils is $18. How much do books cost and how much do pencils cost? So we can use X for books, P for, actually let's just use B and P. So B and then P. So we have 5B plus 10P equals 36, and 2B plus 40P equals 18. And so now we need to solve for a variable. And just to save some space, since I already have it written here, let's solve one of them for we'll solve for B on this one. So we're to subtract 40P on both sides. So now I have 2B equals 18 minus 40P divided by 2. B equals 9 minus 20P. And I'm going to substitute that in for B over here. So I have 5 times 9 minus 20P plus 10P equals 36. Distributes. So I got 45 minus 100P plus 10P equals 36. Subtract 45. This gives us negative 90P equals a negative, so 45 minus 36 gives us a minus 9. So I divide by negative 90. That gives us 1/10. So 1/10 would actually be 10 cents. Because if you put it as a decimal, it would be 0.1. When in money, that's 0.10. So 10 cents would be our pencils. So if I plug that in, I'm going to plug that in for this one right here. So I'll have 9 minus 20 times, I'm going to use a fraction here, 1/10, because that gives me a 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. So we would have 7 cents. I mean, not 7 cents, because I don't have a decimal, it would be $7. So books are $7 and pencils are 10 cents. That is our lesson today on solving systems of equations using substitution.